Remember When with Ed Randall and Rico Petrocelli. MLB Network Radio on XM 175 and Sirius 210.
And here we go, and now down at home plate, Brandon Phillips getting into it with Yadier Molina before a pitch has even been thrown. And both dugouts have emptied, and both bullpens are going to empty. Boy, that didn't take very long. The Cardinals taking to heart the comments made by Brandon Phillips before the game last night.
All right, Mike Damergis here on Remember When, along with Rico Petrocelli. Ed Randall taking the limousine down from Westchester County as his car stalled. Bud Selig said, "Don't worry, Ed, I'll send my car over there, get you down to New York City so you could come in there like Goose and finish up the show." Rico, we're in at 20 minutes past the hour on 8:20 in the East, 5:20 in the West. We talk about that highlight right there. Reds and Cards going at it. Brandon Phillips maybe shooting off his mouth a little prematurely. You know, Brandon, maybe you got to win a little something before you start talking, because the Cards really have been ruling the roost in the NL Central for years now, and the Reds haven't had a winning season since '99. So, Brandon, maybe why don't you start winning the games on the field first, and then start talking a bit?
Yeah, not smart at all. He's you don't wake up a team that's got as much talent, and I think pitching is. St. Louis. I mean, that's exactly what he did, boy. It's one of those articles you put up on the bulletin board and say, "Wow, this guy, is really a put down." So, and then he tries to, joke around or say hello to the catcher, and they don't want any part of it. What the heck? You don't say.
Did you ever do that with Thurman Munson?
No.
Try and be friendly with Thurman at all?
Well,
back in the day,
Thurman Munson was the friendliest. In fact,
I find that hard to believe hearing the stories about Thurman.
He would. When I say friendly, he would try to distract you at the plate. He was very talkative.
Like what? Give me an example. You're
the
seventh inning.
Yeah.
Sparky Lyle comes in there. You got 2 runners on base. What's he saying? What's Thurman saying to you?
He's talking about this is a real tough game, huh? Boy, this is really. Hey, how you doing? How's everything going? Just on and on and on. Mm-hmm. And he tries to distract you. You know that. But you got to really force yourself to get in there and focus on the pitcher. But I don't recall, certainly in my years, and even after that guys would come out with this type of statement. And as you said, they haven't won. They're pumped up. They're feeling good about themselves. But you don't put a team down like this that you're fighting with. You don't wake them up. You just don't do it. And the same thing is with a hitter, you don't throw at him when he's struggling, because that could wake him up, and next thing you know, he's off, really focusing and starting to hit the ball. So this was a very bad move by Brandon Phillips. But this is the time of the year, usually July and August.
The dog days of August, right?
Yeah, it was when the fights start, because guys are having off years, or they're getting beat by teams. Or there's somebody threw at someone, and here we go,
Is this really United team, though? Obviously, you had the big brawl with the Yankees back in '76 in the summertime. Piniella running into Fisk, and Bill Lee. Really, now that I got to know Bill Lee is a great guy, you hated to see his career pretty much be affected by that brawl. Does that unite a team? Does it really make a difference? Is it forgotten about? Because the Reds maybe are looking at this as some kind of rallying cry to say, hey, St. Louis, we're not going anywhere. We're here to stay.
Well, that's okay, but the thing is, though, with St. Louis, like I said, you don't wake them up. You don't antagonize them. Sure, you want to let them know that you're there. You got a good ball club this year. They're not just going to go win the division that easy, but. Still, you got to be smart. You just keep it cool, and I think they woke him up. St. Louis. I think that was a bad.
So they basically
move.
woke up the sleeping dragon. You think?
Yeah, and Cincinnati's still playing good. They won 7-2 against
Right, they
Florida.
got the win last night.
So
that's right.
I mean, they bounced back too. But it should be. Both clubs are playing pretty good, and it should be a good race all the way down to the end.
Yeah, a lot of good races. We were talking about that as well during the break here. If you look around baseball and look at the standings, 5 of the 6 divisions are within 2.5 games of each other. Obviously, it looks like the Rangers have control in the AL West with an 8.5 game lead over the Angels. Twins and White Sox, a game separates them with the Twins leading Chicago on the south side. Yankees 2-game lead over the Rays, 6-game over the Red Sox. The Braves 3 over the Phillies. Mets are 9 back. Marlins 9.5. The Cards 1 over the Reds, and the Padres 3.5 over the Giants. The Rockies 8.5 back. And Rico, what the hell has happened to the L.A. Dodgers? It seems like every time I watch them, they're getting shut out, and this is kind of a sad way to see Joe Torre's club kind of finish out the year for him. It's probably Joe's last year in L.A. as far as we know.
Well, yeah, could be, but they look dead. I mean, there's no life to them. Some of the young hitters who were very excited, in the last couple of years. In all honesty, since Manny got there, I think Manny's helped their lineup. Not only his hitting, but I think he's helped the young guys. But it just seemed maybe that's worn off.
Well, Manny's not the old Manny he was 2 years ago before the steroids issue.
Yeah, so. that too was. I think that hurt them. So I don't know what Joe's going to do. I think he wanted to stay around for a few more years, but a lot depends on the situation with the Dodgers. The ownership and the owner and his personal problems there. So we'll have to wait and see.
A lot of personal problems in baseball.
Always. Hey, players, managers, they're human beings. They have families. Right. They have family problems. They have health problems. They have their parents. You're playing ball. Your parent gets sick. One of your parents gets sick. That weighs on your mind. I mean, let's face it. But those are all things you have to deal with, and you try to go out there and play. With that in the back of your mind, but occasionally it's difficult. So I know there's been a couple of players who have had bereavement leaves lately, and I think.
And also, we have had the issues with maternity stuff with wives having children and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So I mean, they're human, from that. But I think the fans, and all of us expect the guys to get on the field and to bust their butts. That's all. Errors are going to be part of the game.
Just give an effort. Don't pull a Hanley or Ramirez like a couple months ago that he did. Fans just don't want to see that, especially in the tough markets like New York, Philly, and Chicago.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
and Boston, obviously.
Without Manley, I mean, he gets on now. That's right. I was just thinking. Anything you do now, you're on ESPN. You're on the other
bigger
networks.
than that. You're on YouTube. That's even more of it.
Yeah.
That's even more of it. So anyway, let's hit the phones here. We got Marty in Atlanta. Wants to talk a little Chipper Jones. Marty, welcome to Remember When. Mike Damergis with Rico Petrocelli.
Good morning, fellas. It's a joy to talk to you. About Chipper, I hope he retires because we need to free up that money so the organization can move on towards the positive way. I love what he's done for the organization, but I think he's being positive because they know they're in a big playoff run. If he was real negative and down, it might affect the team a little bit. I think he's being a team leader and trying to keep positive, but that's a lot of money to leave on the table, too, he doesn't play anymore.
Well, he brings up a good point there, Rico. The Braves want to move forward, maybe want to add a couple of parts here or there. Chipper could be, sucking up some money there and blocking the Braves from picking up a big player.
Well, that's true. It all depends on who's available. But the thing is, though, I think, because they're not so much loyal, but I think they if they feel that he can still be productive, I think they would go with him because, him being there so many years. Now, if he decides to retire, of course, different story. But it is tough to, it's the money, but it's tough to leave the game. I tell you, it's tough to retire. It's over. When it's over, it's over.
A guy like Chipper Jones obviously really doesn't need the money, unlike, I'm not saying that you did when you retired, but players when you retired weren't making the salary that they are today. Marty, tell us your favorite Chipper Jones memory. Me, living here in New York, I always have the memories of Larry, but being a Braves fan, tell us your favorite memory of Chipper Jones throughout the years.
I guess it's the MVP year. There's a lot of great memories. But I have an old baseball story for you guys if you have a quick chance there. The way things are now, back in the 70s, I was working at a Teamster Freight Company. We had a lot of Brave guys working there. We had Darrell Evans working there, Sonny Jackson, and Ron Schuler. It's funny, Darrell Evans hit 40-something home runs that year, and there he is working the part-time job at a Teamster Freight Company. And nowadays, you hit 40 home runs, you're living in a mansion. It's it's amazing how the salaries have changed.
Sure. Darrell Evans, a great guy, has been on our channel a number of times. Incredible person.
He's got over 400 home runs, doesn't he?
Who are you talking about, Chipper?
No, Darrell Evans.
I'll check on that. I know Chipper's got 436. You're talking about 1999. 45 home runs, 110 RBIs, batted .319, on-base percentage of .441s, and a 1,491 RBIs so far, with .306 lifetime average, without a doubt. First-time Hall of Famer. Number is 866-652-6696. That's 866-652-6696. 866-MLB on XM. We got Dave Preston coming out with the update and more of Remember When with Mike Damergis and Rico Petrocelli. Ed Randall on his way.
We now return to Remember When, Sirius 210, XM 175.
All right, Mike Damergis here on a Saturday morning, filling in for Ed Randall, who's had some car trouble. Bud Selig sent the limo up to Westchester County, so Ed should be here momentarily in Bud's limo. Of course, as always, the man, the legend, Rico Petrocelli. Rico, how are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing very well. I tell you, played a little golf this week. 2 weeks ago, I got my first hole-in-one.
Really?
And
Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
It's in the hole. It's in the hole.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it really is a big thrill.
At what age did you start playing golf? Because I never got into it. My father, when he retired, loves golf and sent me clubs and everything. And I just can't get into it. I don't know why.
Well, you got to get the time. I couldn't do it earlier as well. As a player, actually, they didn't want us to play golf. They thought it would really ruin your swing. It was a different type of swing, but it's not that much different. But plus you had family and all that. You had kids, so I didn't get to play as much. But I later on, probably when I was around 35 years old, 35 or a little later, started
hitting the links there, huh?
Yeah, I started getting interested. So, but it's fun, and a big thrill. But I still love baseball, number one.
How did you? Let's give out the number too. 866-652-6696 or the 866-652-6696. Again, Remember When. Mike Damergis filling in for Ed Randall as he's journeying down from Westchester County in Bud Selig's limousine. Rico Petrocelli up in Massachusetts, up that way.
Just over the border now. Yeah, New Hampshire.
Okay. Now you're from Brooklyn.
I'm from Brooklyn.
You played
New York,
for the Red Sox,
yeah.
And you live in Massachusetts. Rico, just something doesn't fit there in my mind.
Well, it's such a beautiful
How are the cannolis
area
up there, as Phil Rizzuto would ask.
Not like New York, I tell you, but very good, though. No, it's really a nice place. Nice place to raise your children. And actually, my wife's from Seattle. I met her there playing AAA ball, and so we both came here, of course, when we got to Boston, and decided to stay here. So it's a great place and great sports area. They love the Red Sox here, and people are dying from last night's loss. That was a tough.
They took it on the chin there, 10-9. A couple of tough losses for the Red Sox this week, and as we look at the standings, I mean, Red Sox got a little bit of a hill to jump here. The team's fighting for the wild card. The Rays obviously lead the wild card. White Sox aren't going away. It's amazing how the White Sox, we thought probably the end of May, early June, were going to be traders. They were just going to start selling everybody off, and out of nowhere, they've been playing incredible baseball, fighting with the Twins in the AL Central. So the Red Sox have their work cut out for them. I don't know what they could really do at this point. Especially with the injury to Euclid, they're going to need some real help. They're going to need a big second half here. Final couple of months from Josh Beckett, Mike Lowell, and so on. So it's going to be a tough climb for the Red Sox. What's the word up there?
Well, the thing is, their strength in the beginning of the season, at least on paper, was pitching. We thought they had an excellent.
Can never have enough pitching, though, right?
Never. I mean, guys got hurt and didn't do the job. The bullpen has really not been real good. Papelbon has struggled, and this Texas team is they're for real. They got a good ball club, and there's always a lot of hitting when these two teams get together, especially in Texas. But last night the pitching didn't come through, and they're waiting for Pedroia to get back, but I just wonder if that's with him coming back, it's just going to be enough. Euclid being out hurts them.